What's up, everybody? StackingSurfer here. Today, we're going to have a serious conversation because I'm in serious clothes and I'm standing in front of the US Mint. Kind of. Anyway, hopefully you guys are having a good day. I'm just finishing up a day at a sales conference. And all the big news always happens on days that I'm at a sales conference. That's just how it goes. But hopefully you guys are having a good day. I'd love to hear from you guys in the chat over here. Let me know what's going on. I know we're kind of doing this late for those of you on the East Coast, and it's not a normally planned one. I might be able to do a surprise one tomorrow. I'll let you guys know. But I'm going to a special visit tomorrow, and to one of your guys' favorite coin shops. And then I'm going to be heading to another really cool coin shop that I have never been to. So I'm excited to go do that. But you guys put questions you have in the chat here, and let me know if you guys have if you have questions. Put it bold. You guys can, if you're wanting to do a super chat, you can do a super chat or consider giving someone a membership. That's always good as well. But we've got a lot of stuff to cover today. I want to hit, and I'm going to try to do it in a quick fashion, so that you guys that are on the East Coast can get everything in. First off, if you guys are looking at the price of gold and silver, I'm going to pull that up for us. And then we're going to talk about why the US Mint's behind me too. But let me just get my screens ready here so I can share with you guys. Sorry, it takes a second. I don't have a fancy player like some of these guys, but I think we'll try to get one set up. Okay, so here we go. We got another silver surfer in the background, guys. He's surfing coins this time instead of a silver surfboard. Listening in bed, that's always good. Okay, we'll do a quick call out here in a minute, but I got to double check this because it looks like silver maybe has just moved down recently in price. I want to see if these numbers are coming up right. This looks a little bit lower than what I was showing. I'm on my phone, I'm showing 89.55. But here's the deal. We are so close to 90. I think we might even hit $90 today before people on the West Coast go to bed. And everything's moving quickly, guys. So are things different this time? We're going to talk about that briefly as well. So yeah, you guys, depending on how you find the video, I'm trying the vertical stream again, as well as the the vertical stream has me super small over there. There's the horizontal one too. If you're on the one you don't want, then what I would recommend doing is closing the browser window, not the browser window, but the actual player, and then just go back into StackingSurfer's channel, go into the StackingSurfer channel, and then go hit live. And if you're on a computer or on a TV, it should give you the widescreen. If you're on a phone, it's probably going to give you the vertical one. All right. So anyway, here's the price. Things are exploding, guys. We're looking at $4,615 gold. We're looking at $89 silver, and we're getting super close to being able to hit 90 bucks. We're looking at $2,400 platinum. Things are different, and that's what I want to talk about. I've had a handful of videos that have just come out recently. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay as well. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me okay. We have a lot of things that are different going on right now that are different than 1980, 2011. I've been hitting those in a lot of interviews. That's why I've been having specific people come onto the channel to talk to you guys. It's not just me trying to get other people on the channel for, the sake of interviews. I'm a stacker. I'm heavily invested in precious metals myself. So it makes a big difference on what happens with them. I'm invested in it. Okay. A lot of these other channels that you might be watching that have a lot of people on for interviews, they're not necessarily heavily into the precious metals. So that's the first thing I wanted to share with you guys. The next one I'm going to pull up here is the US Mint. We're going to talk about this because there's some crazy stuff going on over there. Let me find it real quick. So this is from the screenshot that I put on the thumbnail today. So there is a rumor of a document going around, but I saw a copy of it on X earlier. I'll have to see if we can find it in a minute. But basically, anything that's numismatic on the U.S. Mint site for silver, they've put a stop on it. And so if you go in there right now to try to go buy silver eagles, they're not available. You can see this is frozen at $91. If you could go buy silver eagles from the U.S. Mint for $91 right now, it would be a steal of a deal. But you can't get those there right now. So what did they do? They just basically froze everything. Okay, this is a first sign of things getting a little bit dicey. What that means is we're starting to have such big swings and moves. Some of these companies aren't able to keep up with it. When you go to the U.S. Mint and you go to buy coins, they price their coins. They don't. It's not like SD bullion where they sit there and move up and down all day long based on spot price. They just kind of have a fixed price that they put out there. So I think there's two things probably going on here. One is they're probably having a problem with supply. And number two is they're not exactly sure if they should be pricing these higher. And I'll have to talk to Frostbite about that, but I think that starts to get into some sketchy grounds for him. So Richard Roach got an email. Roach, just a second here. Got an email from the U.S. Mint today, so maybe you guys have gotten that too. But this is why it's different. If you saw my video that came out today from Eric Young, we are in a war with China for strategic resources. The United States is. If you want to go a little bit more broadly, it's the West versus the East. The BRICS nations have been storing up gold and silver. And if you didn't watch that video, you need to go watch that after this, or tomorrow if you're going to bed. What Eric talks about is it's exclusive. It's never been said on anybody else's channel. He hasn't even put it out on X yet. See if I can get a tighter video for you guys on it. But basically what he said is the silver that's coming into, there's two things he said. One is the silver that's coming into Shanghai is not subject to VAT or value-added tax, VAT tax. And so when you see a $5 or $10 difference, that is the real difference. And the metals are moving that direction, and they're not letting them leave the country anymore. Okay, I'll remove this off. So the metals are moving from the West over to the East, to China, and this is happening because of the arbitrage. And I will see if I can pull up the most recent version of that. Yeah, right here. So let me get that for you guys. Just a second here. This is what you need to understand of what's going on here, because until you understand this, you're going to think that this is the same as what we've had in the past, and it's not. And I've got a friend on my phone right now that was telling me he's getting ready to sell a bunch of ounces of silver, and I told him I've got people that are wanting to buy. Now he's got plenty of silver, so if he sells a smaller portion of it, I think he's hedging his bet, which is smart to do too. He bought it a lot lower and it's going up. But let's just look at it right now. Right now, we've got a smaller spread, but we had a bigger spread. So if you go back about 2 weeks, right before the first, there was about a $10 spread. And I had a lot of people come on my show and tell me that I'm wrong, and that there's a the VAT taxes in there, the VAT tax, and that it's really not that different. Eric's coming out. He's got inside source. It's on my video with him today. And he says and shows and gives the proof that that is not the case. And so right now what you're seeing is in Shanghai, they're paying $93.83. And right now we're at $89.59 on the bid, and on the ask, we're at $89.84. And so what's happening is they're slowly siphoning the silver over to China. And as they do that, they're not letting it leave. Okay, so we're in a resource war. I think what happened in Venezuela has everything to do with the timing of China closing off the silver window. Of course, those things take a long time to plan. It was already in the works. The Chinese delegation was there that morning, maybe even in that afternoon, and then the strike happened at night. I don't think any of that's a coincidence. I think it was exactly planned. I think we knew that they were there. And I think it's in retaliation of making sure China cannot get its hands on that oil. They were taking 80% of it. And that's what I think really happened. So, what's next? Okay, we're talking about Greenland for resources. I got into a heated argument over a work dinner last night with some friends from work. I don't know. They're probably not going to talk very much, but one was very left leaning, and we had a couple of us that are, I would call us pretty middle of the ground, middle of the road here. And we were just talking about what's going on with the resource war, and we were told that was wrong. And then it just became a big anti-Trump thing. And the reality is some people can't see past the emotional side of things. They don't look at the facts. We weren't even talking about the president. We were just talking about foreign policy and the things that need to go on. But that's what you guys are seeing right now. If you're not understanding the difference in foreign policy, if you're not understanding the resource war that's going on, then you're going to be buying gold and silver based on charts. You're going to be buying it based on bad information. Now, when you look at charts and you look at technical analysis, they can tell you what could possibly happen, and they're going to do that based off mathematical patterns. But they cannot predict what President Trump's going to do. They cannot pick what President Xi is going to do over in China. They don't know. They don't know what India is going to do. Okay, what news might get released, and that can throw things off. And that's why charts can help you, but they are not there to tell you exactly what to do. All right, I want to just bring a couple comments up here as we go through this. So first off, you guys, we did it. We hit 19,000. Well, we hit 19,022 subscribers. My goal is by the end of the month to get us to 20,000. By the end of the year, I want to get to 50,000. I think we can do it. I don't think it's going to be too hard to do it. I hope we go screaming past that. I do have an interview with Lynette Zane coming up, and I've got an interview with Andy Scheckman next week. I'm going to be doing some special visits to some really fun channels and coin shops that a lot of you guys like to go to. And I brought this stuff with me to go buy some things. And then I brought a couple of other cool coins since I happen to be in the Boston area. These are the Mayflower coins, guys. If you haven't seen these before, it's always so bad when it doesn't do that. Anyway, there's that. So there's one coin, and there's the other coin. So one's British, one's US. That'll be in my video coming up about the Mayflower. So look for that. And just to show you guys, I am a stacker. I've got a bunch of stuff with me. This is the last gold coin I purchased. I have not bought any gold since. But this Valcombi here, and just to give you guys a reference for it, I paid $3,650 for it. That's the most I've paid for any gold. And I still think now is a great time to still be buying gold and silver, but I've been starting to go much heavier into silver since then. All right, we got 239 people in here. Hit the thumbs up. We will be doing a live stream on Friday where we'll do giveaways, silver giveaways. As we get once we get over 100 thumbs up on this live stream while it's still going live, we'll do more silver giveaways. I plan on doing a Yankee and Tim round that I'm going to go pick up tomorrow, unless they are out of them. We'll do one of those as a giveaway when we hit 20,000, which I'm hoping happens in the next week or two. And then we'll do another special giveaway when we hit $100. So if you guys haven't done this yet, do go over to my post that asks what date we're going to hit $100 on. There's going to be a very special silver giveaway for the person that guesses the right date. And right now it's going to be based on the first person to guess that date. So look at the dates that are on there. We'll also probably do something special, like maybe we'll do another giveaway for anybody else that guesses the right date. But I will close it off probably as we get a little bit above 90 here. So let's just say we'll probably go until the end of day Saturday Pacific time. and we'll close that off. So anybody that puts in an entry after that, we'll probably hold that one off. But those are some opportunities for you guys to win free silver, okay? So that's kind of fun. All right, so we got a lot of people in the house here. We got Melissa, my channel. We've got LL. We've got Michael Porter here. And we are so close to hitting 90. Maybe we even hit 90. It depends on where you are getting your information from. I usually get it from Kitco. And right now, and I also usually look at the ask price, because that's where I sell silver off, is based off the ask price, and I buy it based on the bid price. But we're sitting at 89.86, and I've been in meetings all day, so I can't tell. It looks like maybe we already hit it briefly. But that is pretty darn cool, guys. It's cool, it's scary, and it's going to go a lot higher. Okay, so get ready for it. Okay, you guys have to tell me, do you like the fancy look versus the t-shirts? But this is what I wear when I'm at a conference, and yeah, my hair is a little bit out of control, but there you go. That's what we do. All right, we got a couple questions I want to hit for you guys too. So if you have a question you're dying to get in, I recommend doing a super chat. Even the smaller dollar amount, it'll pop up on my screen, and I won't lose it. These other ones can get lost, as we have a lot of you guys in here. I know you probably won't recommend this, but I do have a kilo silver bar in my stack, and I got a 1 kilo budget this month. So I think I'm thinking about trading 20 ounces of silver and cash for a kilo silver bar. So I have kilos. I've got 100-ounce bars. I've got all kinds of fun stuff. Just about anything you can stack, I've got some form of it, or I've got some of it. I like to put it in vaulting places as well, because I show my face. I want to keep it secure. And then once you start to accumulate enough, there's nowhere to put it anyway. So you've got to start to come up with more creativity. And we covered that with Eric as well. When you guys get to the point where you have too much silver, especially when the prices were really low, down in the, say, $10, $15, $20 range, it didn't really make sense to vault it. And then where do you put it? Now that silver is getting more expensive, it's becoming more important to make sure you safeguard it. I don't hate kilos. I don't hate 100-ounce bars. I don't think it should be all you have, though. It's going to be really hard to barter for a cup of rice if we get into a situation like that with a 100-ounce bar. It's going to be hard. But hit the subscribe and the bell icon if you guys haven't done so. We're trying to get to 20,000 subscribers by the end of the month. I think we can even probably do it by the end of next week. All right, we got 949 in here, so you guys say hi to him. We've got Richard's in the house. We've got Michael. Oh, we already said Michael Porter's in here. And Michael Porter just called out a deal, guys, if you missed that earlier in the chat. So he was able to get some gold at a good price. That's good. Right now, if you guys go to my eBay channel, I don't want to sell very much of any of my stuff, so the prices are really high because they're just placeholders for right now. If you guys are looking for gold and silver, send me an email. We can probably work a deal out. We find quite a bit of gold and silver. Okay, good question here. I think when we hit $100 silver, that's when I think the FOMO will start. We haven't had any FOMO yet. I know other big channels have talked about already being in mania and FOMO. We're not there. Among stackers, there's been some FOMO. At certain coin shops in certain areas, there's been FOMO. We don't have FOMO yet. No one else I'm working with, and I just came out of a room with a couple thousand people. They don't know about precious metal stuff, except for those from India. There's a lot of guys from India. The ones from India do, but the Americans don't. And I have chats with the Indian guys all the time about gold and silver, and they totally get it. So I think people will start waking up at 100. I think when we hit 200, it's really going to wake people up, but I think it's going to freak them out too. I don't think we see mania until we really hit 300. And I think when we hit 300, that's where people are going to feel like it's going to 1,000. And I think they're going to feel like if they don't have it, that they're going to be in big trouble. It's going to be similar to when Bitcoin hit probably, say, 80, 90 to 100,000, somewhere around there. And I think silver could go a lot higher than that. Now, I'm not giving that as my prediction. I'm just saying what I'm seeing from charts, what I'm seeing from other experts out there. It looks like we're going to go anywhere from 150 up to $2,000, depending on who you talk to, on silver between now and say 2032 or so. What I recommend is stacking, because I believe that everything's going to get cheaper, compared to silver. Silver is going to keep going up and everything's going to get lower. And so I even look at the home I'm in and I go, oh my gosh, my home is going up 3 to 5% a year, and my silver is going up 155%. Do I really want the equity in my house, or do I want to maybe live in a less expensive home and use some of that equity to buy more silver? It's a thought process I have, and I live in a pretty pricey area, so I have options of being able to go other places. I can work anywhere in the U.S. So that goes in my head. All right. My mom's got a lot of Beanie Babies, so if you want some Beanie Babies, I will totally trade you your silver for them. We're streaming vertical and horizontal right now. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. We've got 300 people in here right now. I don't know how many people are on each format. I'm guessing that we've got a fair amount of people that are on the vertical format. For those of you on vertical, we do gold and silver giveaways on Friday nights. We do a lot of interviews. I come on and talk a lot about what's going on in the market, give you my opinion as a stacker. And for those of you that are new to the channel, I guess a couple things I'll just point out. I come from a banking family. My grandfather started a bank. I've had a few people I've interviewed that have said I need to tell you guys my full story about all that. I need to talk to my family and see if they were okay with me doing that. So like my dad and stuff. But we had a lot of money, and that money got taken out in 2008. I tried to, since 2003, get my family to diversify more. They did not. And they wanted to keep a legacy going with owning a large percentage of a publicly traded bank. And I was getting ready to take my dad's board position, and I just graduated from Northwestern University with a master's, data analytics and advertising. And I was going to go in there and transform this company digitally and really get things going, and everything got taken out. The whole sector of banking got wiped out, savings and loans, if you guys are familiar with them. I hope to write a book one of these days on it as well. But I think one of these days I'll probably give you guys a lot more information on that. But that's my background. I've worked with some of the best stockbrokers in the country because I could. I had my own mutual funds. I didn't use mutual funds. They created one for me. And why do I bring all this stuff up? I've had a unique experience of being able to see the back end, to do IPOs, to invest in startup companies, to even start my own companies in the past. And I bring a unique spin that a lot of other stackers that are in the community don't have. Doesn't make me better, doesn't make me worse. It's just different. I'm just going to call it like it is. I'm not going to say I came from a family that didn't have any money, because that's not true. The family has had money. But I think it's important to give you guys a different angle of things. And I think it's important to help you understand some of those, risks and rewards of doing things like mining stocks. I started investing in the stock market when I was 21. And, I've been doing it since then. I've done a lot of real estate investing, and I've done a lot of marketing and advertising. I worked for the largest advertising firm in the world in Manhattan and did TV commercials, which was pretty fun too. And you guys haven't heard me talk about that. But enough of that. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Now it's a seller's market. Sell your silver as much as you can, because silver is volatile and it could dip. So let me address that for a second. When you look at timing, if you believe that silver is going up over the next several years, and that we are in a silver and gold bull run, and historically these go for multi-years, then there's a couple ways to look at this. I always look at it as a trader, a stock trader, an investor. which could be stocks and physical, and a stacker. Those three different mindsets, you can have all three of them. I do. You could also have just one of them. Depending on the way you're looking at it, this question should be applied differently. The stacker in me, if I'm looking to stack and just hold for the long run, I'm not trading in and out of my metals. I'm not selling them. I'm holding them. I use them for a rainy day and SHTF. I might even pass it all to my kids. That's really the real stacker way. The investor, which is part of what I do, that's what I have with my kilo bars and 100-ounce bars, is I want to be able to have something that I can turn in and buy real estate with. So I can do it with those bars. I can do it with gold and silver. And so, for me, that's why I have that stuff. And so there's a time horizon. What am I looking to do? Well, I want to be able to take a 100-ounce bar and I want to go buy a house with it. Okay. That's one of the goals I've got. Now, it depends on how expensive silver really gets can I do that? And, granted, if it gets to that point, a 100-ounce bar is going to be hard to sell. You're going to have to sell it to a coin shop or to probably a smelter in order to be able to do that. But the trader is really someone that's flipping coins on eBay. It's someone that's playing the mining stock. You can do the mining stocks also as a investor. So I do that with my mining stocks. I'm looking for anywhere from a 1 year to 3 year hold with those. And then you can be a trader with some of them and flip in and out of it to make some cash flow by sells. You could also be flipping coins back and forth. So depending on how long your horizon is versus how short it is, this question gets answered differently. So first off, if your horizon is long, I don't know why you would sell any silver. It's hard to get it right now. Why would you want to get rid of something that you might not be able to buy back? Okay. So that's one thing I would be cautious of if you're doing a long-term hold. As a stacker. Now, if you're doing it as an investor and you've already hit your goals for your return on investment, then sure, I would take some of that and sell it. One of the things you can do is you can sell enough to cover your initial investment, plus take some profits from it. And then you have other silver that you can just leave and hold on to and let it go. And you're playing with the house's money. That's one way you can do it. Just know that you may not be able to buy at a lower price than today. Now, the caveat with that is we are looking pretty long on the charts. And the charts are telling us that there should be a correction, and it's going to be a pretty big correction, probably closer down to 50. But that doesn't mean it's going to happen. It doesn't mean it's going to happen now. It could happen tomorrow. It could happen right now too. But it doesn't mean it's going to do that. So you got to ask yourself a couple of questions. If I sell my silver today and it never goes back below $100, say it continues to go up to 100 and never goes below 100, are you going to be mad? Okay. That's a question you have to ask yourself. The next question you have to ask yourself, if I don't sell my silver today and it goes down to 50, am I going to be mad? And what if it sits there at 50 for 6 months? Which I don't see how it would do that for 6 months. I think we're in a different time period now. You have to ask yourself those two questions, and based on the answer you get, it helps you figure out the decision. I can't give you financial advice. I can just help you guys think through the process of it. But if you're looking to take profits from silver, yes, now's a good time. But so was a month ago. So was 6 months ago. So I'll just throw that out there. All right, let's see. Yeah, so this is the problem here. It should not, YouTube, this is a new thing for YouTube. They should not be showing you a vertical feed on YouTube if it's on a laptop or a TV. It should only be on the mobile phone. So if you are stuck on that, guys, you can go back out and go to the actual channel, hit video, and it should give you the broader one. So sorry about that, guys. All right, let's see what else you got. So yeah, the gorilla one, it's Eric Young. He is King Kong 9888. He's my guy in Hong Kong. He's my guy in China to talk to about gold and silver. I found him on X, and he has awesome insights. And we talk about a lot of stuff before and after the show. Go watch that video if you haven't done it. I'm not kidding. Like today, it tells you exactly what's going on. So there's a couple factors. We covered one of them, which was the silver is going for a higher price in Shanghai than here. The second one is he talks about bricks. I'm not going to give it away. You guys have to go watch the video. But he tells you something about silver and bricks and why it's super important to understand that. And that threatens the U.S. U.S. hegemony and U.S. reserve currency of the dollar. You got to go watch that if you haven't done it. That dropped today. The mint is recalibrating prices. That's why we've got it behind us today. All right, let's see. Okay, I'm like way off. We've got Kenshi here. When Lambo? I know well, okay, he's asking that for me because he already supposedly has a Lambo, or maybe his dad does. I don't know. I don't know how old Kenshi is. I believe you will have the ability to buy a Lambo with silver if that's what you want to do. Stackers probably aren't going to want a Lambo, but some of the silver stackers I know will. Personally, I would not go with the Lamborghini because they have issues. My friends that own them have had problems with a lot of maintenance. You're probably better off going with a McLaren. Just put that out there. But when will we get there? I think it's going to be somewhere between now and 2030. You're going to see revaluation of gold. And I do talk about that as well in the video with Eric, the Gorilla video. And I think you're going to see a time period where, for example, a lot of the Bitcoin guys believe that Bitcoin is going to catch up to gold's market cap, and then it's going to surpass it. I don't believe that's ever going to happen. And the reason I don't believe that's ever going to happen is because the people that own the gold are the people that control the planet. And those families aren't going to allow it to go down. They want to be the ones in control, and that's what all the central banks are holding. Could something replace it? Possibly, but it would be silver, not Bitcoin. And anyway, you got to ask who invented Bitcoin and for what purpose. I don't hate it. Some people hate it. My gut tells me not to buy it, especially at this price. Now, if we saw a huge crash along with the stock market, if we saw the stock market crash and we saw the crypto market crash, I'd probably pick some up on discount at $5,000 or $10,000 just to have one in case I'm wrong. At this price, there's no way I'm going to be putting a bunch of money into that. Let's see. I had a quick message here I need to put on my do not disturb for a second, guys. Sorry about that. Okay. So, and by the way, there's nothing wrong with buying a Lambo, but in my opinion, if you're buying a Lambo, you should probably be at least a 30 millionaire. If you're less than a 30 millionaire, you should have at least $1 million in cash flow, or I think there's better things you could do with your money. Old news. Old news is new news to people that didn't know that it was old. That is true. Okay, let's see what else we got here. I will see if I can bring that up in a minute here to show you guys. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I got to just get the right site here. I want to show you guys. Actually, I can pull it up from. Oh, it's not syncing to my phone. Okay, give me a second here, guys. I want to get the right chart to show you the assets here. Okay. Oh. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Oh, that's not the right one. Okay, bear with me, guys, just for a second. Gotta see if I can find the right thing here. All right, here we go. Got the right one. All right. Sometimes these take a second to pull up, but this is really important for you guys. Okay. So many processes. All right, let's look at this here. You guys, silver wasn't even in the top 10 a little while ago. Okay. And it has come up and it has now replaced Nvidia. You can see Bitcoin's down here too. So first off, don't dismiss Bitcoin. It's not going anywhere right now. I think it's going to be around a long time. I do think there's a high probability of Bitcoin hitting 1 million. But I think when Bitcoin hits 1 million, I think you're going to see gold probably $50,000 to $100,000. I think you're going to see a much higher silver. I don't see a scenario where Bitcoin outpaces gold here, or silver. It just doesn't have the same kind of real world application. And it's still an asset that's very young and one that a lot of people don't trust. I think you're going to have all the baby boomers pass away. I think you're going to have a lot of Generation X pass away before Bitcoin has the chance of trying to surpass those. In addition to that, you're going to have all the central banks go down. They're the ones that hold all the gold. But look at those lines. You can see the trending lines up. Gold and silver are moving quite a bit up to the right. And the question is going to be for me is silver going to pass up gold here? And if we're going to get to a ratio of like 30 or 20 on the gold to silver ratio, I haven't done the math, but clearly silver is going to pass up gold at some point as the most valuable asset market cap, if those ratios continue to get super low. So you're going to see that happening as well. So that's kind of cool. All right. I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom here. I'm going to pass up a lot of stuff. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm kind of way behind here in the chat. I want to make sure I'm up to date on chat. If I missed one of your questions, you guys can do a super chat. I think it's like $1. That way it pulls up. You can try to re-ask it. I'll try to grab it again. It's really hard when we have so many questions in here. So, thank you for doing that. Let me see if I can find out how many thumbs up we've got here real quick. All right, so we've hit 100. We'll do some more silver giveaways on Friday as well. We'll have some fun with that. I'm going to be making some really cool visits here in the next couple days. It'll be fun. All right, let's see what you guys have in here. I'm not sure if I know exactly what you're asking there, but I do a couple things. One, I have a goal for how many ounces of silver and how many ounces of gold that I want. That's one of the first things I do. And I start off with specifically looking at gold as wealth insurance. So I look at 1 ounce of gold for every $50,000 in net worth I have. The reason I do that is I believe that at some point they're going to have to revalue the gold to burn off the debt, to reset the currency. And that is a minimum of about 50,000. It might be, say 45,000, but it's right around there. 50 makes it easier. If they do that, then Social Security's gone, and so are all of the pension funds for federal employees and all that stuff. So if they actually want to go cover those as well, you're going to be around 142,000 per ounce of gold. It becomes very problematic, guys, for the U.S. to revalue gold above the market price of gold. It becomes very hard, but it could happen. So that's kind of what I look at as far as my rule of thumb for how much gold do I need for insurance. So obviously, if I have to use it tomorrow and they haven't revalued gold to 50,000, I don't have the full value to cover 100% replacement cost. But usually if you get car insurance, most of you probably don't have insurance unless you're Kenshi and you have a Lambo. You probably don't have insurance that's going to cover 100% replacement cost for a brand new car. And there's depreciation that goes into there. You guys, hopefully you understand what that means. How do you count your personal GSRs on fiat terms? So that's the first thing I do is I want that. The next thing I do is I want to have enough silver to take care of SHTF situations. So I look at about, depending on how much you like to eat, you're looking at about $0.10 to $0.20 a day per person to cover meals. And an SHTF, I take that many dimes times the amount of people I've got times 365 days. And that gives you kind of the minimum. But I like to start with at least $100 face of junk silver and work your way up. When you're doing that, you're starting to build up your silver and your gold, okay? And you're going to have the different ratios here. So how do I count that? I just count it in actual fiat dollars, okay? You can also count it in actual ounces you have too. So I'll give you guys my numbers right now. I just got to do some quick math on it. So I have 57 ounces of silver to every 1 ounce of gold I have. Okay. Now, a lot of you are completely opposite of that. You might have 300, 400 ounces of silver to 1 ounce of gold. You may have all silver, no gold. That's okay. You have to look at the ratio and why you're doing it. I have a lot to protect, a lot of wealth insurance I need to cover, so I have more gold. I'm much heavier in that. I'm more concerned about protecting wealth than growing wealth overall. Now, as more money comes in from other investments and stuff, then I'm putting more of it into silver. And so this number has gone up quite a bit. I think I was closer to about 40, and now I'm up to 57. When I look in actual dollar terms, I got to pull up this other sheet here real quick for you guys. I don't know, where did I put it? We don't want that on. All right. I'm just gonna have to look back at this for a second. So the other way I do it is I take the total dollar amount that I have in gold, divided by how much I have in silver. Or you can look at the total. You look at the delta between the two. Okay, something funky is happening, guys. We're getting some pretty good spreads between bid and ask right now, and we've surpassed 90. Okay, so the other way to do it is you can take all the dollar amount you have in silver and the dollar amount you have in gold, and you take you add those two together, and then you take how much you have in silver divided by that other number, and that's going to give you basically your dollar ratio. Right now, we're looking at $90.86 on the bid, and we're looking at $91.11 on the ask. So we're starting to get a little bit more movement on there, but we have hit it. We've hit 90. So there you go, guys. Okay. Hopefully that helped answer that a little bit. I don't know. I probably need to do a short on that to help you guys understand how to do that better. We did get a super chat in here, so let me pull that up here quick. So frankly, that's not funny. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I will continue to donate to the new Razor Fund. So I'm hopeful. I don't know. What do you guys think? Put a 1 in the chat if you think I should keep the beard. Put a 2 in if you think I should shave it. Put a 3 in if you think I should do whatever this is called. I forget what they call that. Or we could do a mustache, but I don't think that would be really good. But that would be a 4. All right, guys. Goodness gracious. Okay, let's see. So my ratio right now, I'm pretty close to 50-50. I was 60-40, but because the ratio of gold to silver continues to slide, I'm now at 50-50. And so, you have a couple choices when this happens. You have the ability to go in and readjust your balance. So if I always want to be at a 60-40 split, then I would start selling silver and buying more gold. If I want to, if I'm okay to let it ride, I just let it continue to ride. I've been slowly adding more silver though. One, I think silver is going to do amazing things. We talked about it in the video with the gorilla guy, with Eric. I think we're going to get into a period of time here where there's a lot of inventions and industrial uses of silver that cannot be substituted. That's very key. If it cannot be substituted, then it doesn't matter what the price of silver it is. It could be $1 billion. You're not going to get that technology unless you have silver. There's certain military technologies that they have to have silver for because they can't rely on any other metal. And so they're going to pay whatever they need to pay for that. They'll just print more money, more fiat money. They don't care what the price of silver is. Now, they might try to short it with the banks, which is what I think's been going on for years. But if they do this, you end up with these price problems like we are now, and now it's starting to explode out of there. Now, it doesn't mean that they will always make the good if it becomes too expensive. So let's talk Samsung. We talked about this with Eric on there. You got this new Samsung battery that's come out. Well, while they've been designing and building this battery and inventing it, you had silver in the 20s. Okay. And now silver's jumped up way above that. It's almost 5 times the cost of what they originally were looking at. But they can only achieve the efficiencies with this battery of 600-mile range, charging in 9 minutes with silver. So they're going to make the battery, and people are going to want that in an EV. We were just talking about Lambos. If someone wants a Lambo, they go out and buy a Lambo, even though they're like stupid expensive. You could go buy a lot of other cars. You could help a lot of other people before you go and buy a Lambo. And I don't fault anybody that has those, but I do hope that they look at other priorities first, and maybe they've got so much money that this isn't really a big deal for them. That's cool. But what I want you guys to kind of think of is this EV, how high does the cost have to get? And in there, I talk about how high I think it can go. Eric goes into how much he thinks it can go into. But that's my ratio is 50-50. What was 50-50. It's probably starting to go a little over that now, so that it's a little bit more towards silver. I don't even know what that means, Kenshi, but thank you for the super chat. Let's see. It's weird. It's not letting me bring up the super chats. I can't show them on screen. It's like locked on my computer. I don't know what happened there. Anyway, there we go. We got a $5 super chat from Tiger Stacker. Thank you. The Surfer, if you spent money on a razor instead of silver, the silver price might not keep climbing. By the way, it's called a goatee. Is goatee the whole thing like this, or is goatee just okay? Maybe that is the whole goatee. Okay, that's right. I don't know. I've never really done the facial hair thing in my life, guys. The government is lying. Yeah, I think it does that a lot. So here we go, you guys. We hit 90. We hit it. So this is our 90 party. I've never seen it rise $6 in 7 hours. I think it's crazy. And so you guys might be thinking, is silver going to crash? Is it going to keep going up? Can it keep doing this? Are we all crazy? And what I'll tell you is you got to look at both sides of this. Okay. So if you see someone that's very bullish on silver, you need to understand, why are they bullish on silver? Is it just because they want to pump it and they want it to go higher so they can get rich? Okay, well then I'd probably discredit that. If they're looking at things fundamentally different, like I am, and I think it's going to go quite a bit higher, why is that? Well, all you have to do is go watch the last several interviews I've had with people, and you can see why I'm getting more bullish on silver all the time. Now, could we have a big pullback? We should have a big pullback. We should have a pullback to the 200-day moving average. It would be super healthy for it to happen. It allows for the market to cool off a little bit, allows the mines to get more metal out of the ground, to get to the refineries, for them to then mint, and out to the mints, and then out to the stores, to the shops. It helps everything if we have a cool down in here. But you have to understand that things are different. The governments are fighting over this. They want to grab as much as they can. And so it may not always be that way. They may stop doing that, right? You may have a couple of these companies decide they need to short the heck out of this stuff because it's getting way too expensive for them to acquire silver. And they're going to try to front run this by shorting the heck out of it. So do not be surprised if you see pullbacks. I don't see anything right now that's telling us that we're about to have a pullback down to the 200-day moving average. We could have a black swan. We could have the stock market crash big time. You could have crypto crash. People are going to have to sell their gold and silver to pay margin calls. The gold and silver is going to crash too. It won't crash as hard, and it won't crash for as long as those other things. Once the money printers turn on, which is what they're going to do, it'll start skyrocketing again. And the metals will go first. And I think they'll go faster and higher than the other assets out there. But what I want you guys to understand is this: you need to take into account the different opinions, and you need to understand why they have that opinion. Okay, guy had a pretty heated dinner conversation about politics, which it wasn't supposed to be about politics. It was about foreign policy of why someone's doing something, and then it became, well, I hate that person and they're stupid. Okay, it's not talking about policy. That's just having an opinion of something and ranting on it. But the reason I want you to understand that is it's really important to understand why people are doing things, why they have certain beliefs. You have to figure that out. So what I'm seeing in two camps right now is I'm seeing one, people that are bearish and they think it's about to go down. They're starting to sell. They're getting nervous and they're wanting to sell. Now, these are people that I'm guessing have probably held silver for a very long time, and they have seen what happened in 1980 and in 2011, and they've got PTSD that it's going to happen again. I don't think that's going to happen again, because for that to happen, we have to stop using silver in industrial uses, and we have to have countries stopping the stockpiling of silver, which the U.S., as far as I know, hasn't even started doing yet. They've just called it a strategic mineral. I don't know if they've started buying it yet. There's rumors that they tried to buy it right before January 1st, and I talked to Eric about that. He didn't want to bring it up on the show because he said it's still just rumors. He can't substantiate it yet. It was something like 50 million ounces the U.S. was trying to get, but we don't know if that's true. So, if you look at the charting guys, the technical analysis guys, they do believe it's going to go back down, and it's going to go down hard. What they're looking at is they believe we're going to see it retrace to the 200-day moving average. And if we see that, yes, then you're going to see silver back down into the 50s. And if that happens and it hits hard enough, you may have a lot of people selling on the way. You might get more product into the stores, into the shops, and you may have people freaking out that I don't want silver, I'm out. Especially if you didn't sell and that hits you really hard. So be careful. Have cash reserves. Have food storage. Have water storage. Have 3 months worth of cash laying around. Even if you're worried about the dollar dying over time, it's still smart to have cash so that you don't have to sell at the wrong time on your metals. So that's enough of that rant there, but it's kind of a thing there. So frankly, it's not funny. Thank you for the super chat as well. Okay, Surfer, I'll buy the razor. Mrs. Surfer to decide how much facial hair is enough. I totally trust her. Well, I don't know. We'll have to see. Okay, so between that and the goatee comment, Big Ketchy did a super chat. Okay, it's finally working. Notice me. Send Paul. I don't know what that actually means, so I don't know if that's derogatory or what, but Kenshi, we're going to at least call you out for a $2 super chat, so thank you. And if you do have a Lamborghini, I'm going to just call you out for a $2 super chat. It's kind of cheap, bud. This is true. So silver is a strategic metal in the U.S., and so today the U.S. Mint stopped its silver sales. Any correlation? I don't know. We don't know about that yet. So that would be making conjecture. So what we do know is that the Mint may be taking what we do know is the Mint has stopped the price and locked it in on their website, and they've stopped selling a bunch of products that are the more expensive Silver Eagles and other coins that are more numismatic. So they're trying to figure out how to reprice them, because they don't have like a floating, price that changes every 5 seconds like an SD Bullion does or an APMEX. Could they need to hold the silver and decide not to do this? They could, I guess, do that, but it would be illegal. It would go against, what Congress has set forth with the U.S. Mint. So they'd have to explain to us why they're doing that. But, when does the government ever explain the things that they do? So could it happen? It's possible. I don't know. I think we're going to see some big jockeying with Mexico here pretty soon, as well as with Greenland. We have to have those resources if we're going to get ahead of China with AI. And so, this is just my opinion. I think we're already in World War III. I think it started when the Biden administration started talking very strongly about allowing Ukraine into the UN, not the UN, sorry, into NATO. and then we weaponized the dollar. And then, from there, we have had the US makes silver a strategic reserve. Then we've had China cut off the silver from leaving the country. Then we've had Venezuela cutting off the oil to China. I'm seeing tit for tat going back and forth. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Greenland making some kind of a deal, or maybe it's more forceful. Same with Mexico, with all the silver that comes out of there, guys. So we're in a new era of what's going on. Would this surprise me? It wouldn't. But I think that's probably going out on a ledge a little bit at this point. I have no idea what that means. Maybe I'm clueless to that. All right, let's see. I'm going to try to get caught back up. I think it's stupid. Look, I'm a constitutional conservative libertarian guy. I don't like the political party system. I think it's ruined our country. I think the Republicans and Democrats are the same party, just two different flavors of it. I think you have a lot of good people in Congress, and I think you have even more people that probably should not be in there. I look at things based on economics and the Constitution, and are they following the rule of law? And I look for a stronger country. But I'm a very conservative, fiscally conservative person, and a very, morally conservative person too. So, I wish we could go back to the way things were to a degree in the past with certain things, and some things are probably best we don't return to. I don't believe the 16th Amendment is constitutional. I don't think it's a real amendment. I don't think it should be on the books. I don't think the Federal Reserve is legal, and I don't think the income tax is legal for federal. And so, to answer this question here, first off, I don't think the federal should be taxing us at all on gold and silver. It is money. It's in the Constitution. It talks about the states being able to issue it. It doesn't explicitly say whether the U.S. government federally can issue that or not, but it put it on the states. So we're going to need an amendment to that if we're going to fix the money system. It's not just going to come from an executive order of some kind, which doesn't exist yet, but it needs to be a new amendment. When we look at this here, states are a different situation. States can decide to tax things differently than federal. However, going back to the U.S. Constitution, which trumps the independent states Constitution, yes, there should not be any taxation on gold and silver when you buy it or when you sell it. And so I think it's an unconstitutional law. But good luck on finding someone that's going to sue Washington State and sue the federal government to fix these laws. The only thing we can try to hope for is we get better people in Congress, know the people you're voting for. Can you get it repealed? I don't know. I mean, I don't know how Washington votes. I live in California. I think California is completely corrupt. I don't know how you can have a recall for the governor multiple times, and then recall on gas tax, and then every time when it goes to the polls for voting, it wins by 80%. Either there weren't enough signatures really collected to do the recalls, or there's something wrong with the election system. Maybe it's rigged. Okay, let's see what else we got. Okay, I got a question here. Now is the chance for silver stackers to diversify into some gold for protection. Well, you can if you want to. So the way I look at this is there's no way I'm selling my silver for gold right now, but I'm 50-50. If I need to sell any metals right now, I'm going to be selling gold. And when I go to buy back, I'll be buying silver. I don't think the ratio is anywhere close to being low enough to start selling my silver for gold. And I've asked a dozen people that have been doing this a lot longer than me, and they all say the same thing. I'm not telling you can't do that because I cannot give you financial advice. I'm just telling you what conversations I've had. Most people I'm talking to are looking to start selling gold when you get down into the 40 and the 30, but most of them it's around 30 or so. That's what they're looking at. That's where they would start to play the GSR. 50 is kind of no man's land, which is about where we're at. I bet we're actually pretty close to 50 right now. Holy crap, guys. We're at $91.16. Or 91.41. Yeah, we're almost at a 50 ratio already. Okay. And it's just easier to show it this way. There you go. There's the price. Come on. There you go. There's the price. All right. This thing's just going to keep going. If we keep heading this way, we could hit $100 gold by the end of the week. And if you guys are just coming on now, I do have a post on my channel you can go to that asks what you think the date will be for gold hitting silver hitting $100. If you're the first person with the post, we're going to do a silver giveaway on the day it does that. If I can't tell exactly who's first, then we'll have to do a randomized picker for you guys. But we're gonna give that away. We hit 20,000 subscribers this month. We'll do another silver giveaway. That'll be like a silver ounce. We'll do a fun silver ounce for that. But yeah, fun things coming up. So my answer is I personally wouldn't do that. But let's say you have a really high ratio of silver to gold. And let's say you have 300 ounces of silver to, 1 ounce of gold. It's better now to do it than it was when it was at 80 or 100. So, I don't think it's a bad answer, but I think we're going to have better times. But keep in mind, it's also possible we could have, a decline in silver. The momentum's not showing that, but maybe we have a bunch of people take profits, which I do think can happen at 100. Maybe it goes a little above that, 110, 120 or something. But I think there could be a scenario where we have a lot of profit taking in the banks that have gone long, decide it's now time to sell their metals and to short. Things can happen, games can be played. So I wouldn't count out having lower prices come in either. When that happens, we could have gold still be holding, and you could see the ratio go back up quite a bit. Now, when I think I was talking to, I think it was Francis Hunt that was saying he just sees the ratio going down. He doesn't see another time where we're hitting 80 or 90 here in the near future. I hope we do. I'd love to move into some more silver. I don't know. I hope that helps. Let's see. This is always true, guys. You only lose money in a crash if you sell. Just don't sell. I don't know. Maybe that's a question to someone else. So I'm a 24 karat gold guy because that's gold. 22 karat is not gold. It's an alloy. So gold eagles are not really gold coins. They're alloy coins. Whereas 24 karat gold is pure gold. So I'm more of a pure gold guy for bullion. However, when it comes to most of my stack, maybe most of my gold stack is 90% gold, US old coins. And on my silver, I've got a pretty good amount of, constitutional silver. I like Mercury dimes. That's my favorite constitutional coin to stack. Yeah, so if you have 100-ounce bars, there's a couple things you can do there. One, I would recommend getting dimes, quarters, and half dollars so you have them if you're worried about crazy times potentially happening. It's also going to be easier to sell in smaller denominations like 1-ounce coins if you decide you don't want to sell 100 ounces at one time. However, 100-ounce bars should be a pretty easy thing to swap into gold if you're playing the gold to silver ratio and we get lower on the gold. And always keep in mind this, guys. A lot of people forget about this. When you're playing the gold to silver ratio, if we get down to like a 20 on the gold to silver ratio, you may not think that you want to sell your silver now. You may think it's going down to 10 or down to 1 to 1. And you might be like, there's no way I'm going to sell this. So if you're wanting to play the gold to silver ratio, you've got to have the mindset of creating tranches. And this is something Bill Holter talked about. So if you guys haven't watched the Bill Holter video, you got to go see that one for sure. He gives some amazing information in there. Francis Hunt does, the Market Sniper, and also Eric Young, the Gorilla Guy. But what you get out of those conversations there when they're telling you is set a number, right? So it might be at 50, you sell some silver to buy gold, or trade it, and you might do a little bit more at 30 and at 20 and at 10 and at 1. And maybe we never get down to 20. So it all depends on what you're trying to do with it. And if you're trying to maximize stuff, to make it simple and easy, just buy the stuff and hold it until you need it. Things go up and they go down, but I don't see us having just a big flash up and a big crash down. I don't think we're in one of those times anymore. And if you don't know why, go back and watch the beginning of this live stream. So I'm not going to repeat the thing. I already said it. So it's unsustainable potentially, and inevitably it's unsustainable, right? If we continue to go at this rate, I'd have to do the math on it, but we're going to be at like $1,000 gold by the end of the year. If we're going up, whatever it is, $6 every 7 hours, whatever we had today. So it can't continue to sustain itself with that much momentum the whole time. But it's not necessarily FOMO, guys, because the price isn't being set by retail right now. The retail buyers, I know people that are buying, but I know a lot of people that are selling too. So it's not just retail people that are going in and out of this. All right, Eric says this run up seems unsustainable. Yes, a rise is needed, but this feels like a FOMO situation. I could be completely wrong. I don't think it's FOMO in overall sense of a gold and silver bull run FOMO, where you've got everybody that works at a gas station buying this stuff. Okay, I don't think we're there at all. I think we're in FOMO for stackers. I do. I think we're seeing people rush into it and freak out over it. I brought cash to go buy some stuff at a couple coin shops. It's already way more expensive than I want to spend on stuff right now, which is kind of crazy. But things are going to go up. They're going to go down. I would love to see a pullback back down to 40 or 50, and it would be wonderful. And I bought way above that. And so, yeah, it's going to hurt a little bit. I'm going to have to wait to regain my profits on it. But I would love for it to go down so I can go acquire more. So those are some things to kind of keep in mind, guys. Fiscal conservative. Now I would shave that. I don't know. It's kind of a little bit rustic. And it's kind of gray right there. I don't know. Oh, by the way, you guys can guess what this is. What's wrong with my ear over here? Maybe you guys have never noticed it, but one ear is different than the other. I don't think we ever talked about that on here. I'm also in high tech, so you got to fit in a little bit. But thank you for the super chat. Frankly, that's not funny. The Tiger Stacker, $4.99 super chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you think Surfer should replace Jerome Powell. Well, now that's interesting. I think Jerome Powell is a spokesperson. I don't think he gets to make all those decisions. So if I replaced him, I think I would basically be stuck with having to do the same stuff, or maybe your family gets disappeared. I'm not kidding about that too. I think that's probably some pretty scary stuff. All right, let's look here. I want to see where we're at on the likes real quick. I don't know if this is the same thing I was telling you before. Mod, you'll have to tell me. I have no idea how many likes we have. I can't tell on here. It's not working. Okay, give me a second here. I'm gonna get my iPad out because I think if I can connect it, we can do some surveys. I want to see what you guys have to say. Okay, I got the trusty iPad. All right, let's see if we can make this work. It'll do it on a computer screen. I don't know if it'll do it on the, no, let's see. Okay, bear with me for a second here, guys. I'm going to turn my speaker off while I pull up another screen for us. Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me okay still. I'll put a 1 in if you can hear me fine. I'm going to do a survey here, or start a poll. Okay. Okay, I'm going to put in here, how concerned are you about a silver crash? Okay, very selling silver. Concerned but not selling. Not concerned. Holding. Okay. Not concerned. Buying. All right, I want to see what you guys have to say on the poll. Okay. So that poll should be available there. You guys can click above and hit it and get some information on there. Another thing I'm going to throw out, I need to get it set up. I know I'm doing too many things. I'm a busy guy. But what I would recommend doing is this. If you guys, if you haven't yet, subscribe, bell icon, hit the thumbs up. We do live streams on Friday nights. Those Friday live streams we do silver giveaways. And then afterwards, we will be doing a members only. Another one of the calls. A handful of you guys have sent me your email. If I haven't responded to you yet, you feel free to send another email if you want, if you're worried about it, but I should be able to get to them on my flight home. I'll try to do it. And if not, I'll do my best to get us in there again. It's next week will be a lot less crazy. I won't have crazy travel going on. Anytime you fly from one coast to the other, it takes all your time. You get busy, especially when you're working. So what I do want to put out with that is the member only. We do a call where you guys can go back and forth. So that's fun for a lot of you guys. It allows you to ask a lot of your questions too. Okay, let's see what else you guys have in here. 9 for 9, thank you for the super chat. Just wanted to say that I am digging the man on the street look with the green screen. All right, we're going to do another green screen here because the US Mint doesn't need to get all of it. I'm going to show you guys my favorite kilo bar that I have. This one right here is my favorite kilo bar. So that's kind of a fun green screen. This stacker it's just one of the coolest kilo bars you can get yourself on. So that's Adam casting out I don't know, Satan, the devil, whatever. This, oh, I got to go this way again. This is a coin I pulled, one of the 230 privies on the flowing hair. And that was a great investment, guys. $105 to $6,800 after it was graded. So that one's kind of fun too. And then we'll just, since we're talking silver, we'll leave it on this one for right now. Actually, I don't know if those were all switching. Maybe those weren't switching. I don't know. I couldn't see the screen. But that's kind of fun. I mean, I got a hotel room behind me. It's boring. I thought the screens are better so you guys can see this. There's a hotel room behind me. Boring. There's my other shirt I had on earlier today. So that's just not as fun as this. All right, we've got Fuzzy here. Silver, thank you for the $2 super chat. Silver 250 in 2027. Paper silver is on a death watch. I do think so. I think it's very possible. I still need to put my prediction video out for you guys. I need to make it still. I'm trying to determine if I should go conservative with my number or what I really think could actually happen. I'm afraid if I put what I actually think is going to happen, I'm going to be called a pumper. And that's not what I'm trying to do with it. So we'll have to, you guys will have to talk to me a little bit about that one. See, this screen doesn't, the background doesn't work as well on this with my background behind my head. We do Fort Knox. Got a Fort Knox one, guys. We'll do this. Okay, you get the beach behind me for a little bit, okay? All right, we got another super chat that just came in. So John Press, thank you for the $5 super chat in Canadian, I guess. Guessing that's what that is. If you had to sell your silver for a fiat, not the USD, which one would you? Well, it depends on what you're selling into fiat for. So if you're selling it so you can have some emergency funds, then it's going to be in whatever fiat of the country you live in. Okay. If you live in the United States and you don't want to go into the US dollar, I hear a lot of people talking about the Iraqi dinar and the Vietnam dong, that those could potentially be revalued and backed with, gold or silver. Those are ones I guess you could look at. I don't have any of those currencies. I've been kind of tempted to maybe get a little bit just for fun. But I don't do a lot with currencies, so I can't really advise you on that. If you're in Canada and you're wanting to liquidate, I think it's smart to have, Canadian dollars around and make sure you have that. But if you're in Canada, I also recommend having some US dollars too. It's fairly easy to get into the US if you need to. The key is, how liquid do you need to be and how hard is it to liquidate your metals? As we've just seen, there's nothing that stopped you from selling constitutional silver. If you found a dealer that wasn't willing to take it, you could find another one that would be willing to take it. The problem is because it's 90%, you've seen a lot of people unloading it, and so your price for it has just really come down. But if you go sell silver bars, you can get a really good price for those. Hopefully that helped a little bit. $2 just for the heck of it. So thank you, Theodore. All right, let's see. Now I'll talk about this a little bit here. Let me see if I can find the post real quick, because this is really important for you guys to understand. This is my mindset. Aha, I got the post. Okay, we're going to get David Bateman on this show sooner than later. But when I messaged with him, he told me he's got some health issues, and right now is not a good time for him to come on. I don't know what that means. I've got maybe a little bit of a hint idea, but I don't know for sure. But I want to show you guys this post here. But one of these days, we're going to get him on here. In 2022, this is David Bateman saying this, when I sold my tech company, which built apartment software, and I know some of his coworkers, and I've met him and I'm connected with him on LinkedIn, by the way. I plan to roll my capital into apartment building ownership. After some technical analysis, I came to the conclusion that by 2030, apartments priced in silver would drop to 5 cents on the dollar and 10 cents for gold. I went with precious metals. As of today, compared to October of 2022, apartments in silver now cost $21.50 on the dollar, and gold $27.05 on the dollar. My thesis is playing out, and I hope to invest in apartments someday, likely after 2030. So, basically what he's telling you guys here is everything priced in gold and silver is going to become less expensive to buy. So if you had 90% of all your wealth locked up in your house and you don't have other assets in gold and silver that are going up, on nominal paper terms, you might see that you're getting richer over time. Um, However, you have to take into account inflation. So let's say you make 5% a year on your house, but inflation's 10%. Well, you're losing 5%. And if silver does another 155% gain or a 100% or a 50% gain, you would have had much more gain in silver. However, my end game is not gold and silver. My end game is real estate. I'm a big real estate guy. That's what I like, cash flow, and I like to own properties, and I like to be able to write off, especially if we don't get rid of the income tax. I like to write off trips and visit properties and things that I own. Right now, I only have one property. I've sold all my other properties, and it's just my primary residence. And my percentage of wealth in that thing is still too high for me right now. So I'm looking at maybe selling that. But I don't know. I have a family I've got to deal with. Nope on Dong. I don't know him that well, guys. So I'm not going to do Lee Child's comment on the screen. Beach is just the background. So yeah, I don't know what else you guys put a question in on what you have question on with silver. We've been talking about silver already for an hour and 20 minutes. So this is not a beach channel. If this helps, we'll go back to having the silver background. Let's do the bars. We haven't done that one yet tonight. There you go, the silver bars, okay. Let's see. So here's a comment on $70 silver first. Okay, this is probably going off of our survey. So we got 43 votes in there. Get a few more votes in there, guys, real quick. All right. If you guys want to do a silver god tonight, let's see, how many did we get to? I think we got over 100 thumbs up. Mods, tell me if we got 100 thumbs up. If we did, we'll do a silver god here. One thing I just want to throw out here, he's got 2 silver first to 70. So just know nothing goes in a straight line all the way up forever. That's parabolic. If it does, then everything breaks. That's like the Weimar Republic, okay? But even with the Weimar Republic, they had a few times where it came down and went back up. So there's going to be retracements. There's going to be some times of consolidation. They can be short or they can be longer. So do not think it's just always going to go up. But here's the thing. People were calling for it to correct at 50 and go back down to 30 or 20. It never did that. Now we're sitting at almost 100, okay? We're at 90. For it to pull back, it's only going to go to 50. It's not going to go to 30, 200-day moving average, right? Unless we have a black swan or some other issue. So what if it doesn't correct until it hits 120 or 150? It might correct back down to, say, 110, 115, which is higher than today. So you don't know what's going to happen, okay? I'm looking at the charts. The longer and higher silver and gold go, the higher the 200-day moving average goes. Now, I'm going to show you another post here in just a second on X. Let me just find it, because it does make a difference on how this works. Okay, just a second here. I'm going to go, this is Kevin Wadsworth's partner. So let me find this for you guys real quick. Okay, I'm going to show a couple screens on this because this looks pretty darn parabolic. Look at that line, guys. That green line is going straight up. Okay, so let's see if we can. This is Sprott Physical Gold and Silver Trust. Okay, so look at that. That is just going straight up. Okay, so to see parabolic returns like this do not happen all the time, and they can be kind of messy. Let's see what else we got here. That's pretty cool. He bought this at $17 an ounce. I wonder when he did that. So here's silver's roadmap to 100. If you guys aren't following Patrick Karim or and Eric, not Eric, Kevin Wadsworth, I think you definitely should. So here's the roadmap to 100. So this is our line right here. This is very steep. Let's see if you guys can even see it. This is the line right here that's very steep. So we're going into a very steep line here. And you know, we're already past his deal here. When did he put this out? January 12th. So it's screaming, guys. So, you know, I think silver has to hold this line here, by the way. So this is the 200-day moving average, I believe, is what he's using as his line down at the bottom. So if we have it go up to 100, we could have it come back down into the mid 50s. Okay. If we went on this slower line here, which we're not on, you know, you could have better things happen. But you can see how it fell down in here in October. We could see it fall down again and then get up there. So I wouldn't count on it going up forever. I do think we're going to run into some situations where we are going to have pullbacks. But just know that you may be harder to find product, and you might get yourself into a situation where let's see the one I want to see. Well, anyway, there you go. Celebration, guys. So that's kind of the synopsis of what's going. But let's see what you guys have for a second here. Okay, you guys are making me laugh in some of the chat stuff. Yeah, I can talk about a few different things on there. We can talk about demand destruction on that video when I put it out. We can also talk about you know, what the catalysts are for us to hit the different numbers, because I think that's important for you guys to understand too. Like, we should have already corrected, and we haven't, and it's because there's different macroeconomic things that are going on in geopolitical. If those weren't going on, I think we would have already gone and tested back down to 50, and then I think we'd be somewhere in the 65 to 70 range right now. I never thought we'd get past 40 last year. So I went pretty conservative on it, and I just thought it was going to take longer for things to really take off, but they did. Yeah, so David Bateman, guys, if you don't know him, you can go follow him. He's pretty sweet on X. He's got, I think, $1.5 billion in silver and probably close to $900 million in gold. So he is a total stacker. So yeah, you know, 100 to 70, what do you think comes first? Let's do our survey real quick. I want to see the results of that. Okay, so that's going to pull up here. So here's the results. We've got 47% of you are not concerned in your holding. Okay, so what that means, or what to me what that means, is that if we have a dip down to 50, you're okay. You don't have to sell. You're not going to be freaking out over it. Okay, and so you'll just wait for it to come back up above where it is today. 35% of you are not concerned and you're buying, which tells me that you're pretty bullish on it. Okay. So only 9% of you were, oh, I meant to say very concerned, but very concerned, and you're selling silver, okay? 9% of you. And then another 9% of you are concerned but not selling, okay? So here's what I'm going to tell you guys. That's 55 people that voted out of, how many do we have in here right now? 455 people, okay? So that's a small sample size of the group in here. But only a few of you are really, really concerned about the market going down right now. But I will tell you this, if you feel like a gut punch would hit you if it went down to 50, you might be overly invested into precious metals and you may not have enough cash on hand, okay? Whether it's in your possession or in the bank. If you're someone that says, hey, if it goes down to 50, I'm just going to go pull more money out of another investment, I'm going to buy more silver, that's great. I see us going much higher personally with silver. I think a lot higher. I'm thinking more like 4 digits, not 3 digits by the end of the next decade here. What I'm saying is proportionately my net worth and my house, I have a lot of net worth in my house, is what I'm basically saying. I live in California. Houses are expensive, so they tend to take up more of your net worth than if you live in another area. And I happen to live in an earthquake area and a fire risk. And if either one of those things happen, I'm never going to get the full amount of my house, even though I have insurance. That's my risk. And so that's why I've gone heavier into gold than silver. That's 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 kind of how I've had to do things. Now, if I had a choice, I would have done that a little differently. Happy wife, happy life is what they say. Okay, guys. So if you want to know why I think we're in World War III, it's this. It's all this. It comes down to AI and data centers. I think you're in a huge war here. And when I mean war, it's not a kinetic war like World War II or one yet. But every time an empire is going down and a new empire is coming up, go watch Ray Dalio's, what does he call it? Anyways, this video on the currency stuff. There's always a war at some point because the empire that's going out tries to keep its dominance, and it ends up with a war. But the country coming up, or the empire coming up, ends up having more sophistication and newer weapons because they're coming up and they're new, and so they have the newest and greatest stuff. They usually take out the other guy. What we're doing right now is we're trying to fight off China, and what's the biggest thing that's going on is it's the AI data centers. It's also the energy to produce and the water to keep the data centers going, plus the chips. That's the real war we're in right now, is whoever can create AI and build that. The belief is that you're going to have the ability to, to control stuff. We don't have AI like super intelligent AI yet. We have AI that's just really smart machine learning, and I'm in that space, so I can talk to that. That's the real issue right there. Everything else is a resource war to make that happen. All right, let's see what else we got from you guys. All right, we had a couple other super chats I got to pull up real quick. Jam Unleashed, thank you for the super chat. $2. Poll questions only propagate on vertical live. Oh, all right. I understand what happened now. All right. I'm going to do this poll on both of them. We'll try a new. This is kind of a new thing for me to try, guys. So we're going to do a new poll on both. let's try this. Silver hits 70 or 100 first. Okay, so the poll started on the wide. Now let's do it on the vertical. Curious to see how this works. Okay. Let's try this now. It should be on both formats. Okay, that makes more sense why maybe we only had 55 in there. So thank you for that. We've got another $2 super chat. Thank you. How much do you have silver versus gold or would recommend? It's such a personal question. I mean, I've got friends that have tens of thousands of ounces of silver and they have who knows how much gold, but they got a lot. You got David Bateman that has $1.5 billion in silver. He doesn't need that, but he has $1.5 billion, so he decided to buy silver. Has close to $1 billion in gold. So for a billionaire, like he's gone pretty heavy into this thing. I'm guessing he's probably 90, 95% into precious metals for his net worth. I think you got to look at a few things. If you are really bullish on gold and silver, I think someone can have 80% of their net worth into the metals. But it depends on how much cash you have and do you have debt and other things like that. You got to remember if you're looking to sell the metals at some point to pay off debt or to live off of or to use for retirement, you've got to put a different kind of plan in place than if you're someone that's just going to pass the metals on to your family and hope that they, are able to continue to pass it generation after generation. It's different. So you got to be careful with those things, right? If you're planning on silver going up to $1,000 and then you're going to sell it and you're going to go buy all these fancy things or real estate, turn it into other investments, what happens if it never goes above 150? So, don't leverage yourself for it. Don't get yourself into crazy positions. I recommend having no debt. You can have business debt, but not personal debt. I recommend having 3 months worth of expenses in cash. I also recommend having, gold and silver. I've got mining stocks to kind of add to that. And I think it's important to have real estate, but you have to buy it right. And that's a lot of the stuff I go through with my folks that are doing the one-on-one coaching. Okay, so that's interesting, guys. You can go get the U.S. Mint metals at $90 on their website, the U.S. Mint. So those might sell out pretty fast. It's not exactly true. I mean, my company does AI. We don't touch Ethereum. We have nothing to do with it. And the data centers that are running it aren't necessarily using it. So I'd have to research that a little bit more and get a little bit more from you to understand what you're talking about. Yeah, now you're just making stuff up. What's the best shop in Orange County to pay? I've got some local people that can probably get you a better price for your 100-ounce bars than any of the coin shops. So you can email me, StackingSurfer@gmail.com. If you're wanting to do that, we can probably get a little better deal. The other way you can go is Liberty Coins, one you can call. Blue Vault's another one you can call. I know there's Ollie, forget the name of his shop, but it's in Dana Point. You can call a handful of people and see what you can do. I haven't found a store that I can that'll film videos on a regular basis that also will let people call in and buy gold and silver from them. So I haven't done a whole lot of those kind of videos yet with people, but Those are a couple places you could look at. I got another super chat in from Jack Lyons. Okay. I was like, throw me off for a second. Mech engineer, most of our new construction and data centers, some of these suckers have the same power demands as half of Manhattan. Check out FKURF. But like Bill says, share certs. So that's interesting. So, one thing the United States is going to have a massive problem keeping up with China on data centers and chips is one, we have to build the plants to build the chips. Two, we don't have energy plants. We don't have enough nuclear plants, enough production of energy to keep these data centers going. If we're going to try to keep up with the AI race, and the thing with AI, guys, you have to realize is it's exponential. It's like the price of silver going up. It just things keep getting smarter and faster and everything else. And so you can't like take a 6-month break and come back. And so if we don't start building more energy plants pretty fast, we're going to have brownouts. We're going to have other issues. So there's definitely going to be a lot of that interesting stuff going down. All right, let me see if we had any other questions on here. So yeah, go to the new poll. Okay, I'm going to ask OC Stacker, if you're still on here, let me know how many thumbs up we have. All right. So Ram's wife thinks he's a smart guy now. Cashed in all the retirement and bought silver at 14. Not bad. I actually cashed in my retirement and I bought silver at about 22, not quite 14. But you got to pay some stupid fees, especially when you're not 60, 55 or older. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. I would talk to your financial advisor and your accountant, CPA, about what the tax ramifications are going to be before you do something like that. However, what I will say is that personally, I did it because I needed some funding to get metals in the first place, and I'd rather do that, and it wasn't a ton of money. It wasn't like I'm taking my whole retirement out to do that. Okay, let's see if OC can tell us the number here. Yeah, SD Bullion's not the only one that can't deliver, guys. Other places are having to slow stuff down. And you're dealing with a couple things. One, you have stackers that are FOMOing. Okay, I don't think the market's FOMOing in. Until I hear of a lot of Bitcoin people dumping Bitcoin to hurry and run over to gold and silver, I don't think we've hit mania yet. But what you are seeing is you're seeing a lot of people FOMOing in that are stackers, and so supply is getting taken up, and they're having to ship all that out. So there's more than normal. That's causing issues. I think the other thing you're running into too is they probably don't have enough product, and so they need to put a disclaimer on how long it's going to take for it to ship. But those are things you got to watch out for before you buy. And if you're starting to see major lags on this, then you may want to be looking at your local coin shops. I agree with that. Desire is a trap. Desirelessness is liberation. Poverty would suck. I haven't been in that situation, so I count my blessings. But if anybody's in here that is totally strapped and filling it and you wish you could buy silver, one of the things I'm going to tell you is, a lot of the people that are buying a lot of this silver are going to be in positions where they can help a lot of people. If it gets high enough, you're going to hear the news calling everybody a hoarder and saying that we probably crashed the economy, which is a total lie. It was broken because of fiat currency. But you know, for me, I stack so I can help other people, and I stack so I can help myself. And if I can't help myself, I can't help other people. Let's see. Okay. $265 likes at StackingSurfer. Okay. All right, guys, we're gonna do two things real quick because I'm gonna need to retire here, so I don't get wasted on and sick on my trip, which is what happens. I end up not getting enough sleep and I get sick. Um, Also, I'd be careful putting how much gold and silver you guys have in the chat. You don't know who's all in here. I mean, your names are probably anonymous on here and stuff, but you know, just protect yourself. Okay, couple last things, and then we're gonna do a GA. Also, if you guys have won a GA, they will come. It's just been really nuts. So I haven't even had time to respond to your emails. You know, I get on these airplanes and I'm stuck on them for 5 or 6 hours, and the dumb Wi-Fi never works very well. I can text, but I can't email or whatever else. So there's a ton of emails. There's a ton of GAs that are coming, and we'll do the GAs a GA today. We'll do the GAs on Friday, and then what'll happen is we'll do. I'll get them ready this weekend to early next week to get out next week for you guys. Okay, so you know, hang in there a little bit. What I do want to bring up on this too, though, is I do think if we hit 100 here pretty fast, say in the next week, say by a week from Friday, which heck, we could hit it tomorrow. But if we hit it that fast, I do think you're going to see some profit taking in the mining stocks, and I think you're probably going to see some profit taking in the futures market. So, you know, we could have a little bit of a correction there, 5-10%, something along those lines. So I would be careful with overextending yourself right now, right? If you're buying right now as this price is screaming up, it should be stuff you're looking to hold long term, 3 to 5 years. I don't think you're gonna have to hold it that long if you don't want to, but I would be careful going too crazy. If you feel emotional like you need to buy it because you're gonna lose out, that's called FOMO, fear of missing out. You need to go up the silver hotline. Okay. There's no silver hotline. Come on our show. Come and chat with us. If you're feeling that, I think you need to step back a little bit and take a breath. Okay. If you can't get the product you want, take a breath. You can always dollar cost average. You can buy on a daily, a weekly, a monthly basis, and you'll spread out those ups and downs better. Okay. All right, let's do this. So we're going to do the poll real quick. So we're going to end the polls, and I'm going to try to go back and forth on these. Okay, so on the vertical poll, we've got 93% of the people that believe we're going to hit 100 before we hit 70. Okay. And that was 46 people. On the horizontal, we've got 92% believe we'll hit 100 before we hit 70. And that's not exactly how I should say that. They believe we're going to hit 100 first. Okay. 8% of the people think we're going to hit 70 first. That was 184 votes. So what that tells me is you guys are pretty bullish. I'm bullish on it as well. And so, you know, I'm going to continue to be bullish while I'm bullish on this. But I do think $100, where is it at now? Yeah, it's come down a little bit. We're down to $90.91. It's crashing hard. Okay, so a couple keys, guys. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, bell icon, and right now you're going to put a hashtag in, okay? Now, I got to think how we do this. Okay, because I'm doing both of these, we're going to have to do two giveaways is what we're going to have to do here, but I don't know how to do that. Let's try something new. Okay, you're all going to put a hashtag in. and it's just going to be silver like this. Put the hashtag in. Okay, we're going to try to see if I can, I'm going to see how I can pull this. It's only going to let me pull, I think, from the horizontal. Okay, if you're in vertical, I would try closing your browser down, go back to StackingSurfer, go to the channel on YouTube, go to the live stream, and hopefully you can get the widescreen. I think it's only going to pull from that. So right now, I'm only showing 66 people. It does not give me an option on the picker tool what stream to go from. So try going to the horizontal, not the vertical stream. We'll see if we can get this up to 50 real quick for you guys. Oh, I didn't mean to draw that. False draw. We're not ready yet. Dang it. All right. We're at 57. I want to get a little bit more in here. Here's the other thing I'd like to hear from you guys real quick. If you're liking the new interviews that are coming out and you like to have, 1 or 2 interviews a week, put a 1 in the chat. I'd like to see how many of you guys are enjoying the interviews. Also put a 2 in the chat if you guys are enjoying the live streams we're doing on Friday. Okay. If you've got other suggestions, the easiest thing to do is email me. I'm easy. We'll come up with some suggestions on stuff. But hopefully you guys are enjoying this. Let's see. We're at 80. All right. We're getting there. We got 420 people in here. All right. Let's see if we can get to 100. I'll give you guys another couple minutes to do that real quick, and then I'm gonna go pass out. It's gonna happen. All right, we got a couple other things that just showed up here. So we got some new members, or we have a new member. It showed up twice. I don't know why. But welcome, Day Trader Success Coach. Thank you for becoming a member. So if you guys aren't members yet, we do a member-only stream after the live stream on Fridays. From time to time, I do silver giveaways just for that crew. Right now, I think we've got about 10 or 15 people that are making it to that. And we've got a total of, just a second, processing. We've got a total of 110 members right now. So memberships help the channel. They also allow me to spend a little bit more private time with you guys. I can say some things that are behind the paywall, which make it a little easier for me as far as telling my story and stuff like that. We're at 90. Let's get 10 more. So some of you guys have gotten free memberships. You're going to have an option to extend that or to let it expire. So you'll probably get an email that comes through from YouTube on that. If you're enjoying it, go ahead and extend it. If you want to, you can change it. So I'm going to show you guys just real quick the levels. So okay, we hit 99. So we're gonna pull that in just a second. I'll come right back to it. So you got the different levels. $3 that gets you into the stream, into the members only chat that we do on Fridays for right now. Eventually that'll go away if there's too many people that are in there. Then you got Club Grom at $10, and that gets you into the member only live streams. Then we've got Club Kook, $50. That gets you access to my cell phone number. You can ask me questions. I'll get back to you as fast as I can. Club Maverick gives you one-on-one sessions, 30-minute call a month. Club Kook is $200. It gets you 60 minutes. And I'm usually quite generous with that time until I get a lot of people. I have a lot of people in there now, but until I get to the point where I don't have the time for it anymore, then we'll have to be a little bit more strict on that. All right, here we go. We're at 101, so I'm going to pull it now. 3, 2, 1, go is what we're going to do here. 3, 2, 1. And we're going to draw this bad boy. Zach Wheat 5770, congratulations. So Zach, take a screenshot of this, send me an email, stackingsurfer@gmail.com. You've got until Thursday night to send me that email to get the GA. It'll probably take me in the next week to get it out to you. But congratulations. And what I'll be sending out to you is a silver dime. I don't have them with me, so I can't show you what the GA is right now. When we get to 100 on the gold to silver ratio, we'll be doing a silver. I'll find something cool. It's not just going to be constitutional silver for hitting 100. We'll do something fun for that. But that's going to go. You guys have to go into the posts. Let me see if I can show you what this looks like. So hang tight for a second, folks. Let me show you where the post is so you guys don't miss it. Okay. This is important for you guys. Okay, that needs to go away. Here we go. Okay, go find this post on my channel. So go to StackingSurfer. So you go to my channel, okay, and you go down. Well, you click posts, okay, posts here. This is just stat stuff. It's not even that accurate, by the way. I don't make that much money every month. I wish I did. It would be great. Posts. So you go to posts here. If you want to become a member, by the way, you click member here, and it'll have the membership options down here. But if you click posts here, you go down, go down, go down. It's maybe like 6 or 7 posts. You'll see this scales, okay? In here, leave a comment, all right? The people that are following the channel, that are leaving comments in this thing, whoever picks the right date first is going to get something really cool silver-wise, okay? We're going to do that to celebrate. That's actually not the right one. Sorry, it's this one. I apologize. You guys have been up too late. Okay, it's this one here. Give me a date when we hit $100 silver. Okay, there's 152 people in there, okay? Go put a date in. I'm going to pull this next week, and we're going to stop it. Now, we may end up hitting silver a lot faster than that, but you got to be the first one with that date to get the cool GA. Now, if I end up running into some issues with that and we can't tell who actually really gets it, then we'll end up doing like a picker for everybody. There's 152 of you in there that have done that. You still got pretty good odds of winning that. All right, folks. Surfer is about to pass out, so we're going to end the stream. I want to thank you guys for coming on. If you haven't done so already, hit subscribe, bell icon, thumbs up. Look for us on Sunday. I think I'll have another video out for you guys on Sunday. We'll do the live stream on Friday night. I'm going to hopefully film 2 or 3 videos in the next couple days, and it's going to be fun. We'll be doing some coin store visits and visiting some other channels that you guys, I know some of you watch it, so it'll be fun. Thank you, everybody. Peace out. Have a great night. Oh, shoot. Real quick. Call out to JT Coins, guys. Go check him out. Okay. He says it's worth it. He likes it. We're going to have JT Coins on again. By the way, JT, if you're still watching this, if you want to come on Friday, let me know. We'll have you come up on Friday, and we'll do that. And we got another another new member. So thank you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Peace out.